with yourself. And also, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't think he wants to be commented on this post. But recently, I did a video with a white guy in Cartagena. Like I said, I'm not gonna say his name, but for those who know, you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I did an interview, and off camera we were talking about just life, and he was just telling me how he felt like he wasn't making enough money in Colombia and stuff like that. And I was like, it is what it is. But
For those of you who don't know, I know you turned his camera over there. Panama, if you think Panama is like any of these countries in South America, you're mistaken. A lot of people there are really overweight. They have McDonald's in every corner, Starbucks. They got all the local foods that
eventually,
you find in the US.
he went back to the United States, and now he's in the U.S. making money and doing his thing. And the reason why I share that story is because, guys, I love living abroad. I love traveling and stuff like that. But guys, than what's more important than living abroad is being financially independent. You know what I'm saying? What's more important.
No, you got to be financially independent regardless of abroad or not. You got to do it here too. And I find out that people that do it here at a high level, they're not really desperate to move abroad. They at least when they're going abroad, it's more methodical. They plan it out better. They would start with vacations. Maybe they'll get into a bit of property and assets, do a few investments here and there, and then they make the final move. This is the only time where I've seen people like wake up one day and say, "Fuck it, I'm just take my bag and my passport, I'm gone." And obviously the primary motivation is always the box. And when you make, again, we'll cover this in human actions. So I don't want to bring this up, but when you make some of these decisions, they are still considered rational decisions. That's in human action. We'll talk about this. They are still rational decisions. It may not make sense to you, but it's a rational decision because it's a planned decision. You've made a decision to do it, to take an act.
Than smashing form punani is being debt free. I think Jay-Z had a line that said, know what's more important than throwing money in the strip club? Credit. Saying so, you have to really think and be realistic with yourself. Like, do I have the skill set? Do I have the ability to do this? Because if you don't, it's cool. Just stay on the sidelines, stay at home, and get your money right. That's what I would say about that. And guys, that leads me to my second point. So my second point, hold on, let me make sure I got this. My second point is multiple streams of income. Guys, this is super, super important.
Everybody knows this, and I'm sure we've talked about this on this channel, that you got to diversify, right? You got to do certain things. You don't have to do it to replace your income, but you can do it to substitute what you have, and also preserve some time for yourself to make sure you don't get burnt out, because a lot of people get burnt out by trying to do too much.
And because and this is important just in general, whether in the U.S., whether you're international, it really doesn't matter. But having multiple, Cambly is an online teaching English platform, and it's funny. I had been working on Cambly for 5 years, and then for whatever reason, they ended up firing me. For whatever reason.
So you guys really believe that they fired him for just whatever reason? A lot of these people don't tell the truth, or they don't take responsibility for their for their actions. Like, I don't know a company. I mean, teaching English on an online platform. You got to do he was probably not showing up to his classes. He was paying for bucks, indulging in sex, and not taking his time to meet his clients and teach them English. And they will suspend you when you get negative reviews and you're not showing up to your classes. They will drop you. So that's what he did. He didn't just, to him, he doesn't think it was a punishable offense for those people to turn him down. But they don't just fire you, man. These platforms don't just delete you or fire you. This is always a result of an action that you've taken, which goes against certain rules.
So that's an example of being fickle. Another example with YouTube in January 2025 to July 2025. So of this year, this is recent. They demonetized me.
Again, so you're getting where I'm going with this, right? You can tell from the character of some of these guys. He had a job teaching English. They fired him. He has a YouTube channel, 83,000 subscribers. If you've worked your way up to 83,000 subscribers, you should know the rules on YouTube, right? You should know that the things that you can post, the things that you can't post. Sometimes before they get to demonetization, you get a few warnings or some hits on your channel before you get to that stage. For a guy that has that many subscribers and has been on YouTube for that long, you should be accountable for YouTube taking your channel down. You did it. You know what you did. You know what I mean? Like, and he's gonna admit to some parts of it, but
They said my content was too sexy, basically. So I got demonetized. So that was a stream of income that I was ultimately denied, pretty much. So yeah, and then also on top of that, in 2024, I had my OF I think it was one or both of my OF pages.
So you see, the reason we played this video is this guy has an OnlyFans account. He's got 2 OnlyFans account. You know, you know how I always talk about the over feminization of the American man, like how the American system, and I don't say this for just Black America, I just say it for all Western countries actually. In general, it's just all the West. A lot of that is seeping into some developing countries. I know in Africa we're pushing back, and we get sanctioned for pushing back against some of these things. But they've over feminized us to the point where when this sucker struggled to make money, he started thinking like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? When he struggled to make money the legal way and the normal way, he started thinking like a bitch. Let me get an OnlyFans, like those Gerello things. Let me get an OnlyFans so that I can show people explicit videos of me having sex with girls abroad, and then I'll get some sick men to pay $10 a month. And he's got 2 of them. He set up 2 of them. It's like, okay, so is this where you guys are going as a group? Like for the guys that are very heavily associated with the brand and the name of a passport, bro, don't be part of these guys, man. You guys are being led by a bunch of degenerates, people that have no purpose and plan in life, and people that are eventually going to fail. I mean, we can see the failure ahead. They don't see it yet, but we can see it. Any man of exceptional character, any man that builds his home, any man that stays committed to his family and does things the right way can watch these guys as entertainment, knowing that you guys are going to fail. It's not a winning life formula. It's never won, and it's never going to win. When you indulge so heavily in certain vices, alcohol, drugs, women, being lazy, all these things never make a successful man. It's not in any literature. You're not going to read this anywhere. It's not even in the movies. It doesn't happen. Even Tyler Perry can make it happen. My brother here says, I think you skipped a word here, a video of a white guy that claimed to be a millionaire, and for what he did, he probably was. But he got a DUI in the States, and when he finished the court shit, he moved to Thailand. Yeah, if you're running away from things like that, yeah, why not, right? Like if you're already screwed up here, you could try somewhere else, especially if you can keep your money. This whole conversation boils down to money. If you can let your money work for you, you won't have issues with me. I certainly won't have anything wrong to say about you if you can get your money to work. Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, all these platforms are really liberal, and they control a lot of what you can do. Chad Johnson did an OF page, but yeah, but a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these guys that are Hollywood, look at Shannon Sharp, all these guys, they're all flawed. They, even when they've got into the bag and they've accomplished certain things, because they didn't do the mental work as part of their ascension, whenever they got to the top, they messed it up somewhere and they lost some money. This guy they're talking about $20-30 million just because of some box he was trying to get